Hey guys, Short Shot Midget here. I'm going to be doing a review on the ASG 40K Boost. Now this is the Boost line of ASG motors. They have their Infinity, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Infinity line. And then they have the Boost. Now the Boost motors come in 40K and 30K. They might come in 35. I'm not 100% sure on that. They might come in some other ones. I know I've seen the green label 30K, and then this is like red label 40K. I don't think it comes in 35K. Now the Infinity series, they have 45K, 40K, 35K, I think the 30K, and then the 25K, and then I think they even have their 1800, which is like really low in the RPM. So they have tons of different versions. Just look them up. I prefer the Boost motors, the Boost series, because they're more budget friendly. These motors are $40. I much recommend these motors when compared to any other motor. This is the best motor you can get for $40. The performance on these is very, very similar to ASG's Infinity line. It's very, very similar. In fact, I have a ASG Infinity 45K, and it shoots the same RPS as this motor, in the same gun with the same battery, the same spring, the same gears, everything. Exact same rounds per second. So, honestly, I recommend this over the Infinities. This is going to be just more budget friendly. As far as quality, anything ASG is really good, honestly. I've never had one of the pinion strip. The end bells are aluminum on here. I don't think, maybe it's CNC'd, but that's one big hype about the Infinity series, is everything is CNC. This has still got some CNC components. Like the end bell is not plastic, like a lot of them. Much better than your Lonexes. Stop buying Lonex motors, please. I have the Lonex A2 here, which one of my customers had purchased, and look at the movement on this arm. You can move the arm up and down like 3 times more than you should be able to. And then the same customer gave me a Lonex A3 for free, because he wasn't going to use it, and it's even worse than this. Now, I use that Lonex A3. I was going to use it in a gun that I'm just putting together, but it shoots too slow. So I bought a different motor for that. I actually bought an ASG 40K Boost for this, and took the Infinity 45K and put it in that gun. I'm not telling you what gun it is, because I haven't really told many people. It's a secret. It won't be done for like another month, because I had to, ship the BTC back to Frank. So, because I bought it and the person sent it to me broken. But yes, highly recommend these motors. I've got one in this customer's gun, one in this gun, and this is also going in a customer's gun. So, highly recommend these motors. I'll go ahead and open it up for you. Get it out. It's all nice and shiny. The end bell here has to be aluminum. There's no way this is plastic. Yeah, there's no way this thing is plastic. As far as the movement on the armature, there's a little bit, which I like a little bit. Honestly, I like a little bit of play, but it springs back really well. It's not loose like with the 2 Lonexes that I have. They just like move up and down and they get stuck, so doesn't spring into place very well. This one seems to spring into place, and it's like, I'd say half the play of that Lonex one, and 1/3 of the play of the Lonex A3 that I have. Pinion gear, it's CNC'd steel, and the tower here is really nice and shiny. It does have bearings on the top and bottom, so it's nice and smooth. A really good spring on there. As far as magnet strength, these are comparable to ZCI, SHS. Those motors are around $30, comparable to those. The difference is the end bell on those are plastic. This one's aluminum. And arguably, I've had SHS high-speed motors. They're supposedly 40K, and I would not doubt that because they shoot really fast. But I've had the bearings explode on the SHS. So, never had ZCI do that. ZCI's, their brushes are really cheap, and the brush springs are really cheap too. SHS is kind of that way too. These are so nice. These are silver coated, if I'm not mistaken. You can see the wire there. It's silver coated wire at least. And then the brushes are super nice too. I think they might be silver coated as well. The armature is polished. Good logo on both sides. Turn the armature. You can tell it's got some torque to it. Compare it to a Crytek 30K. It's like twice as strong. As far as the performance, Some people don't understand. They're like, oh, I want trigger response. I don't care about rate of fire. You can get good trigger response out of these 40K motors. You really can. Unexperienced techs don't think that. They'll build, Frankentorque, 32 TPA or 28 TPA or 22 TPA. Don't get me wrong. I like ZCI high torques. They're 22 TPA, but they're just so slow. And I'm all about rate of fire. Now, not everyone wants to build their guns high rate of fire, and I understand that. And that's why some people will get ZCI high torques. And I have a ZCI high torque in my M4, my ICS M4. I have it semi-locked, and it's just not a high rate of fire gun. And so those are good for that. But if you, just want both, a balance, a 40K would be nice. Or if, I'd say this is high speed. This shoots at least 30. This one shoots 40. And this is actually with stock gears, and this is with high-speed gears. So if you want to put this in a stock gun, if you're using an 11-1, no matter really what stock gun it is, it's probably going to shoot 30. So if you don't want quite 30, then the 30K should suit you a lot better. You should be getting 25 with the 30K with the stock setup. But of course, you could use a 30K with high-speed gears and get like 30. So you can mix and match. That's the one thing about teching is there's so many different options. So you could use low speed or you could use low ratio gears with a high torque motor and get 25 rate of fire, 25 rounds a second, just as an average, just for instance. Or you could do high torque or standard gears, 18-1 gears, and run a high-speed motor and get about the same. So you know what I mean? You could take it two different approaches depending on if you want to swap your motor or gears. For new players, it's going to be easier to swap a motor. So definitely a good motor. Honestly, the best motor, my preferred motor, just as an average, my preferred motor. I do like ZCI balance motors a lot. They're 16 TPA. I don't know, probably 30K is what they're probably considered. They are good, really good motors too. You can get 30 rounds a second with those with high-speed gears like 12-1s or 13-1s and 11-1 and the ZCI balances, and you can get 30, 35. Like I have a ZCI balance with my Amoeba with 10-1s and it gets 34. So you can get some high rates of fire with even just balance motor. So let's go ahead and plug the battery in on this. I'm going to go ahead and show you this battery real quick. 40 to 50C 1800. This is not fully charged, but it's still got plenty of power in it. Wired to Deans, of course. Go ahead, I'm just going to dry fire. This is chronoing at 330 feet per second with the 0.2. I should have left one more tooth on the sector gear and, I would have gotten about 340. That was the goal, to be about 340, 350, but I'm 10 off. It's not a big deal. It's really consistent as far as FPS also. Range, it's hard to compete outdoors with this, especially when they don't allow full auto, because if you don't allow full auto, I'm at an FPS disadvantage and a range disadvantage just because, I'm running an AEG. It's, not R-hopped, not S-hopped. I could work on it a little bit more to get the range up, but I just add a disadvantage if I can't use full auto. Full auto, 40 rounds a second. On a full charge, it chronos at 42, but basically just 40 with this 40K boost. So yeah, that's that. Again, this is with no pre-cocking whatsoever. The reason why I don't do pre-cocking is because it would overspin, or I'd have to turn up the active braking. So I'd probably have to turn up active braking to max, and then I could turn up the pre-cocking and have it not overspin, and the trigger response would just be a little bit better. But it's not worth the wear on the motor, in my opinion. As far as this gun, I'm going to use a 1200 milliamp 15 to 25C. This does have a Mark 1. And again, it's programmed for a little bit of pre-cocking, medium active braking, so semi. This isn't a full charge LiPo. In fact, I don't know when this one was charged last. I think like last week. Trigger response is really good though. Full auto. If you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget, give them the 40.